Bitcoin is nearing the weekly and monthly candle close. What should we expect? Stay tuned to know more. So hi guys, welcome back to another Gab's cryptocurrency video where we trade by data and not by hype. And today, pagdadaanan natin ng iba't ibang data models na ating titingnan. So we'll dive into those different scenarios. So today pag-uusapan natin yung the three scenarios na pinag-usapan ever since. Pag-uusapan din natin yung data model for the logarithmic growth curve, the pi cycle top indicator. Gagamit din tayo ng bagong indicator ngayon which is the Bitcoin wallet size and the stock to flow ratio model na ginagamit for dito sa Bitcoin. Tingnan din natin isang analysis na ginawa ni Benjamin Cohen regarding Bitcoin's path and how are we on our current movement? How far are we from previous movements? And pagdaanan din natin kung bakit ba yung mga tao ngayon napaka-emotional during this Bitcoin season, both sa Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. Alamin natin sila lahat dito sa ating video. Alamin din natin ano yung mangyayari sa altcoin season and asan na ba tayo sa ating altcoin season index. So let's dive in first to the Bitcoin charts. So let's start first at our short-term price movement. So previously, nagkaroon tayo ng rising channel. So a rising channel is a pump and dump movement within this specific area until it breaks out. And other than that, nag-form din tayo ng head and shoulders. Makikita mo may dalawang shoulders and isang head. And we actually got the target from this head up to the neckline and then calculate natin yung next movement up until to this bottom. Pero fortunately, we have this strong support na we have been following ever since the start. So this strong support na ating fina-follow since last week have held pretty significant support in the following days. So what do I think will happen in the short term? For me, ang honest for me honestly, ang gusto ko mangyari is magkaroon siya ng pump dump within this specific area. Wala naman remember reaccumulation phase is not a bad thing. I don't mind the reaccumulation phase. And especially, it's actually healthy for Bitcoin since mamaya papakita natin bakit mahalaga ang ating correction at reaccumulation phase. But it's fair to say na possible pa din na bumagsak ang Bitcoin into a lower price movement if mangyayari yon if na-break natin itong support. So ano ba yung next support natin if na-break natin itong price action na to? Itong 34K support. We could expect a Bitcoin move up until 31,000 US dollars. So 31,000 US dollars, iset lang natin siya ng isang horizontal line. And then ano ba yung next movement natin dito if ever hindi niya pa masupport dyan? So let's talk about the worst case scenario. So this is just the worst case scenario. Hindi ibig sabihin na mangyayari to. But if ever na bumagsak siya, at least ready tayo sa pwedeng mangyari. So let's try to go back in time on where should we expect a major bounce. So if we're going to look at historical data, we can actually get a bounce up to this. If we ever break the 31K support, we could get a bounce at the 29K US dollar level. The next support we could get is 26 and then 23,000 US dollars. But I doubt na aabot tayo dun since these levels are already way off and it doesn't really support what the price action is moving since the data is saying that we are very oversold. So meaning it is the best time to buy Bitcoin. So in general, the following trend could make a trend reversal since we are very oversold. Our MACD is about to cross, indicating that we might get a trend reversal anytime soon. So it can be bullish. So that's why I believe we cannot. It's really unlikely to go down these levels. So we have two indicators saying now we are possibly getting an uptrend, and there are actually more indicators which we have to check other than this. So that's Bitcoin for the short term. Let's try to look back at the hourly chart. So as you can see, we have been pumping and dumping from these areas. And to be honest, I don't mind kung ano yung mangyayari dito. Really, it's because short-term volatility is expected during a correction. It's because of emotions. So napapansin nyo guys, lately we have been receiving a lot of people being, how do we say this, napaka-emotional within the market. It's because of this chart, the fear and greed index. So what does this tell us? Everyone is now in an extreme fear, and when we have extreme fear, people are more stressful. So it's it's more likely na yung mga taong nagwawala ngayon sa social media, especially in Twitter and Facebook, they are actually one of the victims of this extreme fear. They are more likely following the short-term price action, and following the short-term price action can extremely give you this extreme fear. So if may nangyaring ganun na highly emotional people within this market, we always have to say na this is this is just for the short term. It's because in the long term, we have a lot of data indicating that we are not yet done for this market cycle. And if you can see, we are generally in the lowest point of the market, so that's why everyone is so emotional kung ano man mangyari. We get this high volatility happening within the short term. It's because of these emotions. If titingnan mo to, look at this, guys. You can directly correlate the fear and greed index happening with the current short-term price action. If you can look at this past 7 days, this is also the past 7 days movement. We have been getting this extreme pump and dump. It's because we are already at this level of extreme fear. So, kaya masyado siyang delikado gumalaw ngayon ng short term dahil yung mga emotional people, emotional traders are already getting their buy and sell trades happening. So if I were you, I would avoid trading in short term muna kasi the emotional traders are now getting into the scenario. So you can see a lot of people getting wrecked, a lot of people getting, uh, let's say, getting rich in the short term for futures trading. Pero in general, the fear and greed index is saying the emotional traders are getting into the scene, and this is where we should avoid the most. And how do we mitigate these types of scenario? We can actually mitigate this type of scenarios by looking at different data model. So let's look at this first data model. So the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve, which we have been following ever since the start of this channel. The Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve has served as a strong market cycle indicator on where we are on the current price action. So if we're going to look into our current price action, you can see now we are still halfway throughout the market cycle. So Bitcoin is just getting started and we are just halfway. So meaning we still have a lot to go through for the market cycle. So we can have, as you can see, we can have a higher market cycle top during a slow movement or during correction. You can see na the more that we delay the price action, the more that we correct, the more that we dump, the more our market cycle top increases. So that's a good thing for Bitcoin. So if I were you guys, I would take this correction as a very healthy scenario for us since time is on our side. If you can see this, every Fibonacci deviation at each level is getting higher day by day. So meaning our support areas are getting stronger, our support areas are getting higher, and our levels are getting higher for the long term. So if I were you, avoid the short term and look at the long term since the long term is saying now we are still inside this healthy, very healthy market cycle. So that's our one of the indicators that we are currently looking, we could also check the pi cycle top indicator. So generally, the pi cycle top is saying this is actually a combination of two moving average, fif- the 111 and 350 moving average. So if nag-cross tayo, if we had a cross, it would indicate na we are going through a mid-term or long-term bear market. So let's try to look at each scenario. So if you can see this 2013 cycle, we had a cross. The orange line went above the green line, indicating that we are entering a mid-term bear market. Same goes with this end of the cycle, nag-cross above the green line, indicating that we are entering a bear market. So remember guys, if we are above the green line, that's an indicator for a bear market. So let's try to look at the current market cycle. Where are we? If you look closely, we touched the green line, but we did not cross. I repeat, we touched the line, but di nag-cross. Sa Tagalog, dumikit siya, hindi nag-cross, indicating that we are not in a bear market. So if you notice this, we have two indicators saying that we are not going down for the very long term. So we have the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve, we have the pi cycle top. Even if you still don't believe me now, we are still at the market cycle movement. Let's try to use this new data model which I have been researching recently. It is the stock to flow ratio model. So the stock to flow ratio model. So the colors are indicating that where are we from the current price action to the next end of the cycle. So ibig sabihin nun, yung yung color dito sa baba, yun yung end and sa taas yun yung start ng market cycle. So if you can see this, blue means we are start of the market cycle. Green, it means nasa end na tayo ng market cycle. So currently, we had this blue area for the current market cycle, and we are still at the yellow area. And look at this. Every time now we are at the yellow area, yellow area, it indicates that we are just going halfway through the market cycle. So look at this 2013 cycle. Let's try to zoom in this one. You can see we are actually following almost the same movement. We are at the halfway point of the market cycle in this point. And let's try to look at the 2017 market cycle data. 2017 market cycle data, yellow yellow area means we are at the halfway market cycle, halfway point. So let's go back and try to check where are we in the current market cycle. We are still at the yellow area, guys. So let's try to look at this again. Stock to flow model indicating halfway market cycle point. Pi cycle top indicator, second. Halfway point, not a bear market. Logarithmic growth curve, halfway point sa Fibonacci curve natin dito sa logarithmic growth curve, indicating na we are at the halfway point. Let's look at the weekly short term, weekly time frame. No, let's look at the daily pala. Daily is more accurate in this sense. Daily, we are at oversold area, meaning we could get a buying opportunity. We can get a trend reversal. MACD is about to cross, indicating anytime within the next few weeks, we could get a trend reversal going to the upside. What else? We could use crypto fear and greed index. Let's look at the overall fear and greed index. Every time now we are at the lowest point, it would indicate now we are about to get to the next phase. So that's the crypto fear and greed index. So what does this tells us? all of the data are saying that in the long term, we are still very bullish, guys. So what you are currently seeing is only happening for the short and mid term. The bear movement is currently for the short and mid term, guys. So you should not panic if I were you, since the only thing that is happening within the short and mid term are the emotional traders trading this very small time frame. So if you're going to look at this again in the 7 days makikita mo na puro mga panic traders in 1 month. Panic traders, since yun nga extremely fearful. So yeah, that's what you have to understand, guys, na we are still in the short term, ito yung nangyayari ngayon sa short term, they are all just panic tradings. So yeah, that's one of the data models na atin tinitingnan, the logarithmic growth curve, the pi cycle top, the stock to flow model. So let's go back into the weekly time frame. So other than that, we have been following this weekly time frame for the Bitcoin price action. And what everyone is watching around the world is the 21-week EMA. The 21-week EMA signifies that if we cross below, if we had a candle close below the 21-week EMA, ibig sabihin nun, we are entering a bear market. Let's look at this. We made a close below, we entered the bear market. 2017 cycle, we made a close below, we are entering a bear market. But take note, guys, the closing below does not always mean now we are ending this market cycle. If you're going to look at this movement in the 2013 market cycle, we had a close below, pero we did not receive any indication that this is the end of the market cycle. In fact, if you're going to look at the volume, there's actually very low volume. So for me, my indicators indicating now we are in a bear market is we should have a lot of volume, a strong buy and a strong sell, a parabolic move, and then a close below the 21-week EMA. So yun yung three indicators for me. So let's try to look at 2017 market cycle. If we had that, so in the 2017 market cycle, we had a parabolic move, we have big buy and sell volume, and then we had a close below the 21-week EMA. Let's try to look at our current price. Look at this, guys. If we're going to compare this, there wasn't any parabolic move. What we had was a slow bleed. What we need is a parabolic move where pagkataas, biglang dump. We didn't had that. So unlike this one, if you're going to draw a line, we did not have any big buy or sell volume. Our only indicators na nagsasabi na bear market is just 21-week EMA. So honestly, for me, this is not a big indication na magsasabi na we are entering a bear market. Yes, it could be for the long term, but how do we interpret this for the short and mid term, guys? So if we're going to go back, I actually posted this video last May 25, the Bitcoin endgame, the three scenarios for this correction. So now we all know, guys, now we are very bullish in the long term. Let's try to understand what will happen in the short and mid term. So knowing now there's already extreme and immense fear around the market, immense emotion happening within the social media and news, ano ba yung possible na mangyari within this movement? So let me just remove this drawings. So earlier this week, I posted this tweet What do you think is the scenario happening right now for Bitcoin? V-shaped recovery, reaccumulation phase, or mid-term bear market? So let's dive into each of the scenarios again. So V-shaped recovery is something like this, which we had earlier this year. So that's the V-shaped recovery. Reaccumulation phase is something where we could get an action like this. Let's look at the 2017 market cycle. We had a accumulation phase at this area. So we would accumulate more. And then lastly is the midterm bear market. So the midterm bear market is where we would get a midterm bear market in the movement. So as you can see, we went down in this area in the 2013 market cycle. So those are the three possible scenarios which we should follow. So ano ba, where are we na ba dito sa current market cycle? So this is the first week. So it's still possible now we might be inside a V-shaped recovery just like this. But remember guys, we are just only in the second week. So it could possibly get rejected in here. If we received a dead cat bounce, that would indicate that we are in a midterm bear market. Pero if we had the V-shaped recovery and then dumped, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, that would indicate that we are in a reaccumulation phase. And that's not a bad thing since a reaccumulation phase is actually good for us to accumulate more and more Bitcoin. So I would take this each and every scenario as opportunity. So if I were you guys, I would not go into any emotions kasi all of the data are saying now we are just only bearish for the short and mid term, but we are still very bullish in the long term. So I would not panic sell any positions on my end. So let's look again at the short term. Tingnan natin yung update. So for the short term, I posted this at our Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and this Discord group. Now we are receiving this bullish divergence. Bullish divergence is a trend reversal, and currently we are playing this trend reversal. So the bullish divergence would indicate now we are going like this, a movement like this. So that's bullish divergence. Let's try. So yeah, I think that's all that we can cover for this price action. We'll dive into altcoins, different altcoins, but let's try to look first at our chat box. In case we already reached the 100K in Bitcoin, will altcoins like BNB, Ethereum be pumping at the same time? Yep, it's it's more likely that would happen. So let's give you an example data set. So remember guys, we only trade by data and not by hype. And let's look at the Ethereum price action during the previous market cycle. So in this case, the orange lines are it's the Ethereum price movement within the past market cycle. And if you'll notice, just like any other altcoins, Ethereum follows the market cycle movement. If we are in a bear market, Ethereum also goes in a bear market. Same goes with an accumulation phase. We also go into an accumulation phase. So that would indicate and that would support na every time every time every time Bitcoin is going to a specific price action, the altcoins follow. So all altcoins will go and follow the Bitcoin price action. Can we calculate how long will the bullish divergence be? Not really. We cannot actually get that next movement. However, you could actually use the traditional support and resistance strategy. So support and resistance, what you would try to do is you would get areas where you could get big bounces. So ito, ano tayo, bounce 1, bounce 2, bounce 3, bounce 4. So that's a support. We could get We could actually use another support area, a resistance area in here. So we have one bounce, second bounce, third bounce, fourth bounce, fifth bounce, seventh, sixth bounce. So we could say this bullish divergence can go up to 37,000 US dollars. Is it better to invest in altcoins now instead of Bitcoin? My general rule in investing in altcoins first is you have to understand where are we in the altcoin season. So in order to go into altcoins, what you have to first check is Bitcoin price. Asa na ba tayo sa Bitcoin? If we are going down in the Bitcoin price action, that would indicate it's a bad movement. What we want to see is what we want to see during the Bitcoin price action is something like this. If Bitcoin goes down the 21-week EMA, this is bad for altcoins, indicating Bitcoin is stronger than altcoins, and once Bitcoin dumps, altcoins will dump harder. If we are at this area, if Bitcoin stays within this area, this is the healthy price action for altcoins. But remember, those are the two scenarios pa lang. What if we went above here? This would indicate that Bitcoin will pump and altcoins will bleed. In that case, altcoins will still pump, pero it will more likely move like sideways and then pump, sideways, pump. Unlike Bitcoin, where you could still go up at a higher price. So that's why you should always first look at Bitcoin. And once we understand that, that's where we go into the Bitcoin dominance. So let's try to check the Bitcoin dominance. So what we would want to see is Bitcoin dominance going down. So pag bumabagsak ang Bitcoin dominance, it indicates this is a healthy altcoin season movement and altcoins will pump higher than Bitcoin. So that's what we want to see. So earlier this year, we had a massive downtrend for altcoins. So this indicated na it was an altcoin season. That's why you are seeing a lot of Ponzi coins, shit coins, and other types of coins pumping. It's because of this market Bitcoin dominance going down. So now we are going up recently. That's why altcoins are getting bad movement. Pero as long as bumalik tayo dun sa area na sinasabi ko kay Bitcoin, we could still expect a good movement for altcoins. So I still think it is still a good investment pa din for altcoins in the midterm. Pero in the long term, you still have to consider Bitcoin as the king of crypto. Saan po pinapakita maganda mag-invest sa top 10 altcoins? So you could actually check the top 10 altcoins by going into, let's use this, top 10 market cap coins. And coin market cap gives us the top 10 coins. Do you think Cardano will ever drop back down to like 30 cents in the next bear market? Yup, it's still possible. Is this just the start for Bitcoin for, let's say, the next 10 to 15 years? Yup, we are still very early in the crypto market space. Are we going to get a dump since we have a low volume coming? Low volume doesn't mean a dump. It means Bitcoin is indecisive. So let's say we don't have any volume. This indicates there's a possible price volatility action happening within the next few days. It can either pump or dump. So no volume means it could go either way in the next following days. So that's why pag sinasabi ko na low volume and indecisive ang price action, it's because low volume means we could get a possible pump or dump ng biglaan in the coming days. So that's why I always say na be prepared for this type of scenario when we have a low volume. So yeah, always consider that. Daming FED ngayon sa YouTube, paper hands, financial crisis na daw, hodl lang tayo. Correct. I actually have a tweet in here. Last week, everyone was so bearish to the point na umabot pa sa 18K ang prediction. But then, the sentiment changed quickly when we got the weekly candle close. Remember guys, Bitcoin is a psychological and data-driven game. As what I keep on saying during the crash, Bitcoin is just getting started. Nice sir, nagets ko rin yung price target using historical data. Ganun pala. Yep. So remember guys, historical data, we only trade by the data and not by the hype. So let's actually dive into one of the altcoins. Let's try to look at different altcoins. So let's look at BNB. If you look at this, the bull market support band for BNB, which is the 21-week EMA, BNB is already going back inside the bull market support band. So this is bullish for BNB as long as this Monday we have a close above this. Look at Ethereum. This is very good for Ethereum. For Ethereum, we are actually above the bull market support band. So indicating that we are very bullish for Ethereum. Same goes with Cardano. Cardano is very bullish too for the midterm since we are above the bull market support band. Let's try to look at Litecoin. Let's look at the weekly time frame. We are about to go back into the bull market support band too. So I think generally the market is very healthy. This is actually dangerous naman for Polkadot. We are below the bull market support band. But it doesn't really matter if we are below in the midterm. Yeah, it can be consolidating for the next few days or months. Pero as long as Bitcoin is getting this price action, we can expect a healthy movement for all altcoins. Let's try to look at Polygon. Polygon or Matic is actually one of the top coins lately. So ano jacket mo? Uniqlo. So Polygon is actually very healthy pa din. We are still above the bull market support band. But I'm expecting na we could get a dump. We could get a correction anytime soon. We should kasi, ang general rule palagi is we should always touch the bull market support band. We should always touch this red line. But we have not touched yet, so I'm expecting a correction for Matic. However, for the short term, I think Matic can go up to 2.5. Maximum is around 2.69 or 2.7. We could get a resistance at 2.3 and strong support is at 1.49. Very short term support is at 1.66 And next resistance is around 1.9. So these are the key levels you should watch out for: 1.49, 1.66, 1.98, 2.3, 2.56, and 2.69. What's my price prediction for ADA for the next 4 years? I currently have don't I don't currently have any price prediction for the next 4 years. However, for the next for the current bull market, um, my Cardano price prediction is around $10. If we're going to follow the Cardano to BTC dominance, let's look at the Cardano to Bitcoin dominance. So let's look at the daily time frame for the Cardano to Bitcoin dominance. So if you're going to look at this, we are currently inside this Fibonacci area. So we could actually pump from this price action a modest 108% for the midterm. So 108% for Cardano movement. Let's look at 108%. 108% will give us $3 for the short or midterm, $3 price action, $3.01. Pero ang maximum pump ni Cardano is, let's see how far can Cardano go. So 700% from our current price action. So currently Cardano is at 1.54 times 8. So $12 Cardano is possible for the next few days. For the current year actually. We could be at $10. $10 is the very very realistic price. So paano po kayo gumaling sa pag-TTA? Combination siya ng math. Mahilig kasi ako sa math. And hindi naman mahilig. Interested ako sa math. Pero hindi ako magaling sa math. And nanonood ako ng mga iba't ibang technical analysts sa YouTube. Wala ata si Baldwin. This is Bitcoin for the very short term. Tumutugo ilong ko. Sorry, may foreigners kasi dito eh. So, kailangan natin mag-adjust minsan. What is Gabbal? Secret. When is the next bear market? If we reach this market cycle top, that's where the bear market starts. Should we stack more Ethereum or ADA or Cardano than Bitcoin? Uh, for me, I don't think so. You should always stack more Bitcoin than any altcoins. That's because Bitcoin will still control the market regardless. So, if bumagsak si Bitcoin and then bumagsak lahat ng asset mo, mawawalan ka ng pera. So, always stick to more Bitcoin still. Kanta ka muna. Pa-request ng kanta, DJ Gab. Hindi ako makanta eh. Hindi ba lugi if mag all-time high si Bitcoin then ilipat mga altcoins natin pa BTC? Yeah, actually, you should, that's a good move actually, moving your altcoins to Bitcoin, but I would still leave a partial allocation to my altcoins. This is very indecisive. Let's wait for the 4-hour candle close at 12. Tingnan natin ano yung magiging price action niya. Currently, in the 4 hours, we are still pumping. So, there's nothing really to worry about in this movement. So, tanggalin natin yung head and shoulders kasi tapos na siya. But look at this, guys. Our strong support in here has held pretty significantly good within the past few days. That's why I believe we are it's not really possible. It's still possible, but it's unlikely to go below 29K or 30K. No, I don't do scalping. Which should I invest first, Bitcoin or Ethereum? Both. Pero if you don't have the money yet, I'd suggest to go for Bitcoin muna. What can you say about DOT and Cardano? Cardano is actually a good coin. May good project din sila. And I think Cardano can still go up kasi if you're going to look at this price action, this is a very healthy movement for Cardano. So that's why I have high hopes for Cardano. I'm very bullish for Cardano. And we actually have a strong support for Cardano. Ethereum is currently doing well. So we don't have really any, so there's nothing really to worry for Ethereum. Which is better for the long term, Ethereum or Cardano? I honestly think Ethereum is still better for the long term since we have a lot of historical data for Ethereum. So if you're going to zoom out, let's look at this Ethereum historical price action. We have a lot of historical data for Ethereum, so this is more predictable than Cardano. Unlike for Cardano, we just have data up until I think this is around 2017, 2018. Bakit merong gap or lockdown? Napapansin ko parang walang candlestick. It's because biglang malakas yung pump niya. Pero may ibang factors din siya. May iba din na possible na nagkaroon ng bug yung system nila or nagkaroon ng maintenance. Hindi niya nakuha yung price action nung sa oras na yon. Or pag nagkaroon ng gap, it's either na sobrang taas talaga ng movement, nagkakaroon siya ng gap. Sobrang volatile ng movement. Possible ba na matapos ang market cycle ngayon 2021? Yep, I think so kasi if you're going to look at the logarithmic growth curve, 2021 market cycle is also an ideal price action. And if you're going to zoom out of the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve, the market cycle happens every 4 years. So last time it was at 2017. So the market cycle ended at 2017. So we could actually have, so after 4 years from 2017 is 2021. So I think 2021 is actually a possible bear market or possible end time ng ating market cycle. Possible, where do you store your crypto? Nasa exchange lang actually. Di ba lugi if we convert altcoins to all-time at low price to all-time high to Bitcoin? Di ba lugi if we convert altcoins at low price to Bitcoin? Sorry, hindi ko magets. Ano favorite subject ko sa math? Trigonometry, saka analytical geometry and trigonometry. Favorite subject ko yun. Statistics, okay lang. Masaya naman din yung statistics. Masaya yung statistics if marami kang dataset. Pero let's say meron ka lang 6 dataset. Ang hirap, ang hirap i-analyze ng 6 dataset. Siguro pwede mo lang gawin dun yung standard na mean, median, mode, and then yung mga variance. So ano entry price sa Matic? I don't give entry price. I only give support and resistance areas. So ito yung mga support resistance areas. Actually, pinakita ko na siya kanina. So if you could actually scroll back for that one. Memorize mo pa yung identities ng trigo, yung ba yung cosine, yung SOHCAHTOA, sine, cosine, tangent, tapos cosecant, secant, cotangent, co, nakalimutan ko na yung last. Tapos ano ulit yun? Tapos meron pa yung unit circle. Unit circle ang ganda din nun. What's your course ng college? Information technology, specialized in business analytics. Ano school mo dati? Mapua. Di nyo ba trip vet at one? Actually, gusto ko sila. Ang problem ko lang talaga is, wala sila sa top 10 market cap coins. Though, good project sila. Yun nga lang, wala akong masyadong historical data. Though, it's actually worth the investment din naman. Di ko lang talaga ma-analyze ng isang bagsakan. Di ba lugi if I have altcoins na nasa low price, then convert to Bitcoin na nasa all-time high price na? Actually, lugi ka doon, pero mas lugi ka kung di mo ginalaw pa. Kasi mapapag-iwanan ng Bitcoin yun. So, you should mitigate that loss. So, as much as possible, if tumaas na si Bitcoin above the all-time high, I think the best time is to go to Bitcoin na. Bakit merong gap or lockdown na candlestick? Nasagot ko na. Just scroll back to this video. What if, sir, you yourself is going to start now with 500k pesos budget? How are you going to allocate on Bitcoin and Ethereum? So since 500k is a lot of money, what I would do is I would divide it into 5 coins, so 100k each, and then I would DCA in first to each coin. So DCA, if you want to know how to dollar cost average, you can actually check my other video, which is how to buy the dip using dollar cost average. Anyway, you could actually find that in the description below. Let's also talk about this na pinost ni Benjamin Cohen. So, itong pinost ni Benjamin Cohen, I think it's today, earlier today, or yesterday. Every market cycle has a diminishing return. So, diminishing return, ibig sabihin nun, as time passes by, bumababa ang ating returns. And if you're going to look at this data, it actually happens kasi at our first market cycle, we had a 60,000 pump. The second cycle, we had 12,000 pump. And then look at this current cycle. Pababa ng pababa, our returns are diminishing within time, over time. So, if you're going to follow this trend, it should indicate na our market cycle should take longer than the previous market cycle. So, if Bitcoin goes down below again, it would indicate that Bitcoin is back on the correct path. So as long as so it in this theory which Benjamin Cohen is saying, we could actually take a lot more time before getting into our market cycle top, we could say na it's actually at this area. And the more na we delay our price action, it's actually good kasi that indicates that Bitcoin is currently on track for the price action. Sure, can 30 can Ethereum go down to a price of under 1,000 US dollars in the next bear market? Let's look at the historical data. So, what do we know first? What we first know is we have a historical price action for Bitcoin. We also have an Ethereum historical data. And if you're going to correlate the Ethereum and Bitcoin price action, Ethereum replicates Bitcoin's previous market cycle. So in that sense, we could actually determine the next price action for Ethereum in the next market cycle. So in our current market cycle, we could say Ethereum can go up to a maximum of 19,000% price action. So we could reach a 19,000 Ethereum. And then if we reach that price, ano ba yung possible lowest point ni Ethereum? So if we're going to follow the previous market cycle, ang lowest point ni Ethereum na possible na makuha natin for the next market cycle is 3,128. So it's not possible na we would go below 1,000 anymore. So this means any price at this level is the last buying opportunity for you in the midterm, actually in the long term, since if you're going to follow this trend, it's actually the last buying opportunity for Ethereum. Actually, we can go up to 2,900 US dollars for the lowest point. Pero 1,000 is very unlikely. Gusto ko yung every line nyo na po-promote yung how to buy the dip video. Well, of course, kasi for me, yun yung talagang best way in buying talaga eh. So let's look at this. Nagplat to yung current price action natin. It's 11:54. So we are actually 5 minutes from the 4-hour candle close. Let's try to check out the 4-hour. It's still a green candle. And we are actually playing out this bullish divergence. So bullish divergence, ito nga, declining price with an increasing RSI. That's bullish divergence. And we could actually make a case na this is the next resistance, which is ito. So that's Bitcoin for the next price action. And I we will go live again siguro sa Monday para abangan natin yung weekly close and then sa Tuesday for the monthly candle close. But anyway, that's we are 5 minutes away from the 4-hour candle close and this is very good and exciting for the Bitcoin price kung ano ba yung mangyayari. Sure, idol ko na kayo. Ang hirap ng 4 terms sa Mapua. No comment. Kahit below pa yung dot sa bull market support band, maganda pa rin mabubili ng dot sa mababa market price. Yep, maganda pa din. Tandaan nyo, sa long term, any price actions ngayon is the best time to buy. Pwede na kayo bumili ng Bitcoin ngayon after closing ng 4 hours. I'm not sure. You should wait for the next hourly candle close kung ano yung mangyayari. Pero if long term ka naman, you could buy now and hayaan mo na siya. Anong go crush? Sino yung crush? Shruti, can Ethereum go to down can Ethereum go down to a price of $100 in the next bear market? I don't think so. Kumain ka na ba, sir? Not yet. Siguro after lunch or after this video. What do you think about people saying that Ethereum could pass Bitcoin market cap in the future? It's actually a very good question kasi originally it's unlikely for Ethereum to pass Bitcoin. But if you're going to correlate the current data because of the diminishing returns ni Bitcoin, if let's say Bitcoin has plateaued because of the logarithmic growth curve, so as you can see as time passes by, the logarithmic chart is indicating na we are having a diminishing return as time passes by. So if that continues and Ethereum is still in a good uptrend, look at this. We could actually, Ethereum could actually, siguro ano, pwede niyang ma-match yung Bitcoin price, but I doubt. I'm not sure if it could pass, but it's highly unlikely. But yeah, it could coexist na they have a good price action and nasa taas sila both. Pero I'm not 100% sure if Ethereum could overtake Bitcoin. Ethereum could be strong as Bitcoin, pero as of now, I'm not seeing any data indicating na it could overtake Bitcoin. Ano nga uli expected natin top kay Bitcoin this year? Sa ngayon, nasa 126K, but I'm expecting a 180K. 180K. What's your reaction po na daw kay Damu na bababa ng 1K? Parang hindi ko nakita yun. Pero if 1K, imposible yun. Siguro yung isang sinabi niya na 17K, 19K, possible yun. Pero 1K, malabo. Possible, pero I doubt. Unlikely na mag-play kasi 17K is actually the lowest point for the logarithmic growth curve. May relevant update ba from the post mo nitong 8 a.m.? Sinabi ko na kanina yung mga updates ko for this one. And we are actually about to end the hourly candle close and the 4-hour candle close. Let's see any next price action in right now. So tingnan natin yung price volatility niya. Let's try to look at 1 minute. Ito yung sinasabi nilang heart attack. Heart attack chart. So, tandaan nyo guys, totally irrelevant itong 1 minute. Ito yung para sa mga emotional traders. Tingnan mo yung mga nagpa-panic ngayon. Ito yung mga nagpapagalaw ng chart. Pero if you're going to look at it, parang wala lang. Talagang nagpa-panic lang yung mga tao. Can Litecoin reach 2,000 US dollars this bull market? I doubt. Masyadong mataas yung $2,000. What's the possible all-time high for Ethereum? Sabi ko na dito, ang possible all-time high niya is around 19,000 US dollars. Realistic price target ko is around this area. 10,000 US dollars yung realistic price prediction ko, Ethereum. Pero I doubt nalalampas pa to dito. Pero 19,000 is yung realistic. 19, 10,000 yung realistic. Ideal yung 19K. So, ito na nagpapanik yung mga tao ngayon sa 4 hours for the 1 minute time frame. So, nakikita mo ngayon nagpapanik yung mga tao. Biglang nag-pump eh. Kita mo ito yung mga nakakatawa. Ito yung nagpapagalaw talaga sa ating market, yung mga panic traders. Kita mo 'di ba na sila yung nagpapagalaw mismo ng movement. May 500k budget ako. All in ko ba 200k kay Bitcoin? Kung long term ka, pwede mo na siya all in actually. Pero kung short term ka, hati-hatiin mo siya. Hatiin mo yung 200k. If I were you, panoorin mo talaga yung DCA video ko kasi andun yung sagot kung paano mo siya i-allocate. Kesa dun sa mga ngapa ka sa possible price action niya or entry level. Pero kung long term ka naman, very long term, bagsak mo na ngayon siya kung ako sa'yo. Kasi either way, the price of Bitcoin will always go up. Paano mo malalaman kung whales yung nagpapagalaw ng market? Meron actually isang chart doon which is the wallet sizes, Bitcoin wallet sizes chart. You can actually check this, Bitcoin wallet size for greater than 1K Bitcoin. Makikita mo dito yung mga wallet sizes. Sa ngayon makita mo, yung may mga whales, nag-sell sila dito sa top. And then ngayon, wala pang whales na nagba-buy. So, ganyan yung magandang mag-buy. So, if I were you, mag-buy ka na ngayon. Kasi kung sakaling bumalik yung mga whales, possible na mag-uptrend ulit yan. So, tingnan natin to. Tingnan natin itong, yeah, ayun. Yung mga Bitcoin wallet size. Nakakatawa talaga yung price action ngayon, no? Ang indecisive ng mga tao. Kaya hindi ako masyado nag-ano for the short term. Pero, yeah, Bitcoin, the bullish divergence is playing out as predicted. So, yeah, declining price, increasing RSI, and ito yung price action. And then may resistance tayo, so possible na mag-resist dyan. Yung mga charts na to, gawa ko lang to eh. Ito, type mo lang, lookintobitcoin.com. Ito, gawa ko lang din to. Siguro ipapublish ko tong chart ko to sa TradingView anytime soon. So, I'll just have to set the account first before publishing this. So, ano po mas better for long term? Buy now or wait pa sa monthly candle close? DCA, yung kalahati nun, i-buy mo na ngayon. And then the other one, hantay mo sa monthly candle close. Kung ano yung effect ni monthly candle close, dun ka mag-buy yung kalahating natitirang pera. Pero yung first half, i-buy mo na ngayon. Kasi either way, ito yung best buying opportunity for the whole market eh. Kasi tapos long term ka naman. Kung long term naman, pwede ka na mag-buy na ngayon. So here we are now actually 5 minutes within the hourly candle close. Tingnan mo, nagpapanik sila ngayon sa 1 hour. Ito yung sinasabi ko guys na emotional traders, sila yung nagpapagalaw ng market. Ako, nanonood lang ako, hinahayaan ko lang sila. And then, look, nag-buy lang ako dito and then, hayaan ko sila, I let the panic traders move the money for me. So, yun yung kailangan nyo tandaan. So that's why scalpers, sila yung nakakatulong sa mga whales kasi sila yung nagpapagalaw ng price action. Tingnan mo, pump, dump, pump, dump. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo guys na during this season, mataas, sobrang grabe yung greed, yung fear ngayon. Sobrang nagpapanik yung mga tao, extreme fear. So talagang gagalaw talaga ang market ngayon. Regardless, tinan mo, biglang pump, biglang dump, biglang pump, biglang dump. Kaya, if I were you, I would not go into any short-term trades. Kaya Bitcoin is very indecisive. It's because of the panic traders. So, hindi ko alam kung ilang beses ko pa siya sabihin sa inyo. Advisable po ba na ilagay yung mga nalugi na pera sa altcoins at ilagay na lang sa Bitcoin for the long term? Hintayin mo muna makabawi sa altcoins kasi either way babalik pa din naman yung price na yan sa Bitcoin sa all-time high ni altcoins. So you just have to wait it out lang since we are still in the middle of a bull market. If I were you, stay put, hayaan mo na muna gumalaw ang market dahil sa panic traders. Huwag ka magpanic kasi kung nagpanic ka, isa ka sa mga ma- mawawalan. So, tandaan mo na the winners of the market are those who did are the diamond hands na may hawak ng coins. Good afternoon po, Sir Gab. If nag-bear market na ulit, malaki ba ibabagsak ng price ni Bitcoin? Approximately ilang percent? 80. Sige. Bigyan natin kayo ng isang example. During the bear market noong 2017, bumagsak ang Bitcoin ng 84%. 2014 market cycle, bumagsak siya ng 86%. So we could expect an 80 to 86% dump. Hindi naman dump, bear market movement. Sure, percent naniniwala ka ba na every weekends or Sunday is sale? May dahilan kasi siya. Yun yung weekly candle close. Kaya lagi siya nagkakaroon ng volatility. Hindi necessarily sale ang weekend. Ang weekend, it will indicate na magkakaroon ng price volatility. Ibig sabihin nun, it's either sobrang pump or sobrang dump. Kaya makita mo every past few weekends, lagi tayo may dump. Sa ngayon, puro dump kasi nasa bearish action tayo. Pero, let's say, pumasok na tayo ulit sa bull market, possible na puro pump. Kasi kung titingnan mo noong January and February, puro pump yung weekends nun. Not sure kung naabutan nyo yun, pero noong January, every weekends nagkakaroon ng pump. Kaya hindi totoo na puro dump lang ang weekend. Ito yung weekend nun eh. Puro pump ngayon yung mga ibang weekends nun eh. And also, the monthly candle close is puro pump palagi. Tinan mo tong pinakamagandang example dyan yung Ethereum UST chart. Tingnan nyo to guys. First, January 1, 70% pump kay Ethereum. February 1, basta umabot siya ng 858%. March 1, pump siya 35%. April 1, pump siya 39%. Ito nag-start na ng correction, May 1. May 1 nag-pump siya 53%. And let's check, and ngayon sa June 1, tingnan natin ano yung mangyayari ngayon. Pero I'm expecting a pump siguro dito. Kapag bear market ba, walang galawan talaga mga coins, biglang dump ba siya or onti-onting pababa? Onti-onting pababa siya. Sa totoo lang, live mo lang hinihintay ko loads kasi natatawa ako sa mga news sa YouTube na babagsak na daw ang Bitcoin. Kasi yun daw sabi ng chart nila. Pero pag napapanood kita, napaka-accurate ang chart mo. Tandaan nyo guys, I'm just interpreting the data. Tandaan nyo, I always trade by the data and not by the hype. The data is telling na we are still halfway, not a bear market, wala pang whales, and stock to flow ratio model, halfway point siya. So, titingnan mo siya, halfway point pa lang, halfway. So, wala ka talaga ikaka-worry. Approximately bear market drop in ilang percent of Bitcoin and altcoin? 80%, at least 80% kay Bitcoin times 2 kay altcoins. So, durog ang altcoins talaga sa bear market. Na-try mo na ba mag-futures before? No, ayoko mag-futures. Kasi, Bitcoin is already volatile. Ba't ka pa mag-futures? Ikaw, mag-futures ka, pero ako, I won't go into any futures kasi the winners of the cryptocurrency market is yung mga patient traders. At saka, the fact that kaya ka nasa crypto is you want to earn the coin, hindi para mag-bet sa price action ng coin. So, ako habol ko is yung coin itself. Habol ko mag-accumulate ng more coins at hindi yung pagpupustahan. Kaya ako, ayoko talaga ng futures kasi ang habol ko talaga is ilang coins ang ma-accumulate ko. Sure, kada sahod mo ba naglalagay ka ng pera sa coins? No. Pag nag-dip lang, doon ako maglalagay. Or pwede din na mag-set ako ng buy orders. Yeah, that's right. In spot, you own the coin. In spot wallet, you own the coin. In futures, you bet for the movement of the coin. That's the difference. Let's look at 1 minute. Indecisive ng mga tao, di ba? Kasama po ba ang Ethereum sa times 2 ang bagsak sa bear market? Yep. Nagtitake profit ako, guys. Nagtitake profit ako. If napanood yung isang kong video, which is yung entry and exit strategy, makikita nyo kung paano yung take profit strategy ko. Tandaan nyo, ang hodl position ko is only 70%. And then meron pa akong 30% for swing trading. And then nag-swing trade ako from time to time kung ano yung magandang position ng market. So it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to stay in a hodl position all the time or swing trading all the time. Pwede ka mag-allocate ng ilang percent ng coins mo kung ano lang yung i-hodl at isi-swing trade mo. So don't limit yourself sa isang position lang, guys. Ang laki-laki ng pwedeng possibility ng market and opportunities. Ang dami pwedeng strategies na pwedeng gawin. Remember na crypto is a game, hindi lang siya investment. So, nag-swing trade ako, nag-take profit pa din ako from time to time. Sa Ethereum, actually sa Ethereum, hindi ko sinasell yung hodl position ko. As what I've been doing, I've never sold any of my Ethereum hodl position. However, yung swing trading position ko, ilang beses na ako nagsisell at ilang beses ko nire-re-entry. So that's the difference between your hodl and swing trading position. Take profit lahat na ba pati altcoins pag blow off top ng Bitcoin? Yup, of course. Pero if gusto mo mag-hodl pa din, you can leave a hodl position. Meron akong portion ng Bitcoin and Ethereum na never ko isa-sell. So sila yung mga hindi ko isa-sell. Yung possibility na hindi masunod yung stock to flow. Yup. Meron kasing 3 data points pa lang tayo kay stock to flow ratio. Same goes with Pi cycle top indicator. At least 3 data points. So tandaan nyo, all data models can be wrong. Pero pwede ka pa din although if history is any indication, history rhymes and it can repeat, pero it can still invalidate it if nagkaroon ng ibang price action. Take a last look for Bitcoin bago natin i-end yung live. So this is the daily time frame. And then let's look at the weekly time frame. Below ano tayo. So yeah, this is bearish for the midterm. Or pwede tayo mag V-shape recovery or reaccumulation phase. Ilang beses natin siya binabanggit. And then let's look at the monthly. So in the monthly, we are still in the market cycle. So yeah, I think that's it. Let's take a last look. So for our chart is currently dumping. Dipping siya ngayon. Pero remember, panic traders to. So ako, hindi ko itatrade kahit anong position dito. This area na to, panic traders yan. At doon ka lang dapat, ito is, ang pwede mong gawin dyan is buy and hodl, hindi sell. Kasi sell, tandaan mo, sa Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve, halfway the market cycle tayo. Bicycle top indicator, hindi nag-cross. So, stock to flow indicating na halfway pa lang ng market cycle. So, this is not a sell area. Tandaan nyo yun, guys. This is not a sell area. So anyway, if you find this video informative, useful, and if you want to share this to your friends and to your families, please do so. Give this video a like if nakatulong sa inyo. If you want to follow any of our signals, meron kaming Facebook group. You can check also our Discord, Telegram group, and Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter for updates and how do we navigate within the market cycle. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. So gagawin natin tong series, which is the correction phase, and the super cycle weekends na gagawin natin every week. So yeah, we'll end the live for this. So we'll end the live now, and siguro thanks for watching, and let's take the last look bago natin i-end. So yeah, let's end the live now, and thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.